Good afternoon, all. Sorry for the delayed start. I was a bit occupied before the session. So, as I told you in the morning, we will be discussing in this seventh session about pointers. As also mentioned in the morning session, all the topics in C programming I have not covered, but I guess I have touched upon many important topics that you are going to see often in your third semester. So rest of the topics you can keep on working yourself. Maybe you can ask the doubts if you have any at any point in time, directly targeted to me or through the WhatsApp group or through the discussion forum, because that is going to be available to you, the website of KGC LMS and that particular course you are already enrolled in. So let us begin today with the discussion of pointers. Okay. So before I go ahead and start discussing about pointer, many of you might already know that pointer is hopefully I'm audible to everybody. I did not ask that. Generally, I should ask, because otherwise, whatever effort I'm taking are in vain. Yeah, somebody answered. Others, please do answer. At least in the seventh session, you should answer. Okay, yes, many of you are answering. So before you leave today's session, I'm going to ask you to put in your names in the chat box. So before I do that announcement, do not leave the session for this last session. There is a special purpose of that would be considered as an attendance for this session. Going back to the discussion of pointers. So pointers are, you must have actually heard from a lot of people that they are very important concept with respect to C programming language. And while I am sharing window with you, I want you to tell me what do you feel is a pointer. Any one of you can answer. What do you feel is a pointer? Question is very simple. What do you feel is a pointer variable? I'll wait for my screen to get shared and I get some answer from you as a seed answer to start the discussion off. The question that I have posed is, what is a pointer? You must have heard of this term, and many of people might have told you that this is a very integral part or very important part of C programming language, that kind of makes C programming so important to learn, or so much of but higher quality, okay, or maybe more powerful, you can say. Pointer is a type of variable which can store address, okay. Atharva Godambe says, Umkar Usgaonkar says direct address of memory location, okay. Anybody else want to contribute any of their own creations, or maybe Google creations of the definition of pointer? Okay, let us start the discussion. Now, what is a pointer? It's a variable. That's a simple term. In simple terms, as far as the compiler is concerned, it's just a variable. So what kind of things that this variable has indifferent than other variable is, generally we use variables to or as an alias for a memory location. As an alias means as a name for a memory location, we use a variable name. Okay, that's the purpose. And what we use that memory location is to store values, which these logical variables are going to be storing or referred to as. So whenever I declare a variable int a, I'm actually naming some memory location as a. Okay, that is the name I'm giving to that memory location, and the purpose of using this variable is to store certain values during the computation as and how we require them. Okay, that is the purpose of variable a. Then now the next thing that we want to discuss is pointer. As I told you, is also a variable. The only difference between a normal variable and a pointer variable is that instead of storing uh, or instead of using that name for the memory location to store values, we now want to store another memory location. Okay, so the only difference between a normal variable and a pointer variable is that normal variable is used for storing values which I generate during the computation, so that I can access them, I can manipulate them, etc., etc. Whereas a pointer variable will be generally used for storing memory addresses that are not the same memory location. Okay, so I will store some memory addresses over there. Now what is the purpose of storing memory addresses will be more clearer to you when you talk about the function calling paradigms of call by value. So if I am using call by value, that is I am passing values of one variable to the other variable from the function parameters, from the formal parameters to the actual parameters. At that time I get a copy of that value into the function body, and then that is used for computational purpose. Now whatever changes I do with these values of copied values will be only limited in scope to the function body execution, and the original function which called this function is not aware of those changes. Okay, what if I want to know as a calling function how the called function is making changes into my values? Then how can I have a mechanism of doing that? Maybe if instead of passing the values to the called function, if I pass the addresses to the called function, then since the called function or the function which has been called for performing certain computation will actually be manipulating contents present at that memory location which is being conveyed to it, and hence what will happen is whatever changes it is doing, those changes are known to the calling function, because calling function knows those memory locations which it has passed to the call function. One important thing to note over here is while the computation is going on, the calling function is not going to execute, it is going to halt. So I have just given you an analogy to understand what exactly would be our benefit if we were to we somebody's actually started the mic accidentally. uh, can you switch off your mic, because I am getting my echo which is very bad to hear. I guess Pranjal Nikumb, someone by name Pranjal Nikumb, your mic is on, can you put it off, or I'll do it for you. Okay, fine. Hello. Okay, so now coming back to the discussion, the point I was discussing, or the point that I was making was uh, whenever this call function passes the memory addresses to the calling function, this calling function is passing memory addresses to the called function through the parameter list, that is called as or referred to as parameter passing by address. Okay, then what happens is whatever changes the called function is doing on those parameter addresses or values presented at that parameter addresses, those changes will be reflected once the called function gets its execution completed and the control comes back to the called function calling function. Whatever changes are made by the called function, they are reflected back, because the calling function knows which memory addresses it had sent. Now the calling function can go consult those memory locations and figure out or dig out what changes or changed values are stored at that particular location. Okay, have you understood what I just said? So this is the benefit which I will get if I am supposed as a programmer or as a function which is calling other function knows how to handle or how to work with addresses or memory locations. So the concept of pointer is given away or created just to facilitate these kind of scenarios. which are more powerful and which are easier to execute. Now why it is I'm saying that it is easier to execute, because now that I just need to pass the addresses to the called function. Called function will do its business on the same addresses, and it need not return everything back to the calling function. In the morning discussion, I also told you that we can return only a single value from function, which is not a good thing, right? Many a times I may have a input output characteristic where there are many inputs and many outputs that are generated by a function. Function calculates many values. Then I need to either, if those values are of same data type, pack them in an array and return that array, or I may create a structure if they are of different types and return that structure variable. Somehow I need to do a lot of work that way. But if I have a facility of manipulating addresses, then it becomes easier. But then at the same time, it becomes dangerous also. If somebody hacks or changes the code of the calling function, the function which is called, then that may actually hamper the actual memory locations which were supposed to be not altered maybe by that function. So there are issues related to security of the overall consistency of execution of a program is concerned due to use of pointer. That is why in many modern programming languages you do not find direct use of pointer. Indirect use of pointer is there, but direct use of manipulation of memory addresses is kind of avoided nowadays in many newer programming languages that you will learn further from say SEM4 onwards. A lot of programming languages are going to come across you very soon, and they are going to hit like anything. You are going to love those programming languages very well, because they are made for lazy people, and even C is made for lazy people. Those who actually work in assembly will say that C is made for lazy people. Those who work with with C will say that Python is made for lazy people, JavaScript is made for lazy people, Java is made for lazy people. It always is like that. So everybody says that other person is lazy. Don't worry about that. Now going back to the concept of pointers. So what is a pointer? Pointer is something like a variable, but instead of normal variable whereas it stores values, these kind of variables store memory locations. As they store memory locations, there is a mechanism evolved to access what is the value at the memory location which these variables store. So I'll give you a very small example. I'm showing you a very small example, not this one, maybe, yes, maybe this one. Okay, so here if I declare int ptr1, this is my normal integer, right? This is like ptr1 is going to store some number, say 10, 20, 30, or a negative number, because it's not mentioned that it is unsigned. And when I actually see the line number 5, I see that this particular variable name ptr is prepended by this particular operator star, which is attached with it. Okay, so this indicates to the compiler that this variable is a different kind of variable. This is going to store something called as a memory address than the value, so that this memory address can be used for doing certain activities. Now what are those activities and other things, we'll go ahead and look at them later. But generally when you are using pointers, it is good that you initialize them with certain value, and this goes with some with every variable actually, that whenever you are declaring a variable, it is always better to initialize it with certain seed value or initial value. So since pointer are storing the memory addresses of different other memory locations, in order that those pointers are not used by some other rogue code, we should use, or we should have a habit of initializing them with a particular standard value, which is called as NULL. This is the equivalent of 0 for integer. So if I write ptr1 is equal to 0, okay, it means that it is storing 0 value. Okay, similarly whenever I write NULL in caps, that is correct, it's a constant defined in stdio.h, There is another constant you will soon come across, which is declared as FILE, file capital. There are a lot of constants defined in header files. Somebody was also referring to 2-3 days back a constant for pi, that is also